Yo, what's up? We out here with the Buff Missionary yet again, another video. And you can call this an addendum to the one that just came out, looking through the book Steps to Christ and just thinking about things differently. And there was a thought I had that came into my mind a few minutes after I hit the button to stop recording, but I didn't want to forget it. So I said, let me start this back up and just talk about it here before calling it a night. So, nature and Revelation testify to God's love. And in the beginning part of the chapter, we've talked about the aspects of nature like the trees, the grass, the flowers, the things that we see, the things that are kind of around us and outside of us in regard to nature. I've talked about the sunrises and sunsets in Palau, the beauty there, being in the ocean, going diving and swimming out there. It's just absolutely incredible. There's so many aspects of nature outside of us that are beautiful and give us a starting point to understand just how great and how loving God is. But then it hit me. I was talking about creation in a couple of these videos, and the crowning work of creation was humanity. So when the statement is made, nature and revelation alike testify to God's love, nature is not just referring to the things outside of us, but it's also referring to us. Humanity has an obligation to share God's love and to testify of God's love. What does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. To me, it means that as a part of creation, as a crowning work of God's creation, as a part of humanity, not just myself, but you as well, this duty that we have, how are we showing who God is? Maybe a better way to say it is this. Do we realize that the way we live gives evidence to other people of who God is or who he isn't? There are a lot of choices that we make every day. There are a lot of things that we do in our interaction with other people. There's so much that can be taken from people who see us and witness the things that we do. And guess what? If I call myself a Christian, as a crowning act, as a part of God's crowning act of creation in humanity, they may look at me and say that what they see from me, that's how God is. Is that something that draws them to who God is and really testifies of his love? Or is it something that pushes them further and further away? It's a deep thought. I think it came back to me because of this line that says, through the things of nature and the deepest and tenderest earthly ties that human hearts can know. Human hearts. It's like, wait a second, our hearts are involved in this too. There's something about my heart that should be able to show or be witnessed by others, to others, about who God is if I claim to believe in him. That's one of the reasons I really like the mission field so well, because you get to engage and interact with people who don't think like you, who don't act like you, who don't believe the same things you do, who haven't grown up the same way as you. And you find that it's not so much about going in there and talking to them about who God is. Talk is cheap. Anybody can talk. But it's more about going in there and trying to leave a positive influence. Not trying to go in there to convert everyone because I'm a Christian and everyone else needs to be too, or else they're going to hell. Nah, man, scrap that. It's not about that. You want them to be saved, but you don't want them to be saved because they met a certain level of requirements. You want them to be saved because they can experience the same relationship that you're a part of and that you're getting to experience. That's where the beauty of it comes in. Would you say that nature is more based on relationship or requirement? I don't know. With the way that we have all these different cycles that go on throughout the ecosystem and life and all these different kinds of things, it seems more, excuse me, it seems more like it's based on relationship than just requirement. And we have an opportunity as the crowning act of God's creation to show and to testify to who God really is and his love for us and for the people we interact with by our example. I'll be reminded of that. And I know I can live it out better, that's for sure. But my encouragement to you is to try to do your part to live it out as well. Not in the sense of requirements, but in the sense of a relationship. People will want to be on board with you and the thing that you're on board with if they see that it makes a difference in you. And it's not about struggling and working so hard to make sure that we're doing all these things right. Do good actions and righteousness, as it's called, does that stuff make a difference? Yeah, it has its place. But it doesn't have a place higher than the relationship with God. It doesn't have a place higher than how that relationship changes the way that you operate in life, how it impacts the way that you interact with people who are not like you. And that's how you really get to show others who God is through the nature that is you. So keep that in mind. Put it in practice. Comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think. We'll talk about it. It's the Buff Missionary once again, and I'm out. Peace.